This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The opinions expressed in this episode are not to be construed as medical advice.
Welcome to Demystify Beauty, a weekly podcast about creating transparency in the beauty space. I'm McKenzie Westmore.
And I'm Dr. Paul Nassif. What's up?
Hi, Dr. Nassif. How are you?
I'm sitting here having fun, seeing patients. Another great day. You know, it's hotter than heck out here. But I shouldn't even complain because you are in Henderson.
Yeah, don't you dare.
Yeah, you probably got, 115 degrees right there?
No. Actually, today's a cooler day. Although I never thought in my life I would ever say, oh, wow, it's 101. It's cold today.
Oh, my God. That's so funny.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. So, no, I'm getting used to it.
I love to hear it. So today's going to be fun. We get to talk about skin.
What better thing to talk about? Yeah, skin and makeup.
So who's going to go first?
Well, I'm going to ask you questions first. And I just want to start by, I love your line. And that's there's no promotion. This is not like a paid ad or anything. I genuinely love your line. The Hydra screen to me is liquid gold. When I get to the bottom of that, I am like dumping that stuff out. I'm doing everything I can if I can't get another bottle soon enough. So why don't I start with my questions for you?
Sounds good.
So what made you interested in starting a skincare line?
Yeah, great question. And by the way, for everyone, today's podcast, we're talking about my NassifMD skincare line. Mm-hmm. And also we're talking about Westmore Beauty. So this is where you get to learn a little bit more about skin and about why we're doing certain things.
Yes.
Hey, skincare and, and the makeup. But so here's the way it starts, basically. When you do a facelift, neck lift, your eyes, your cheeks, whatever you do surgically, remember, you're working underneath the skin. And that does not improve the texture or the quality of the skin. And to make, your result from maybe the surgery makes it into a B+ result, but to transform it into the A result, shall we say, your skin has to look good. So if you do a neck lift, but you still got bad texture, still the fine lines and wrinkles, and the dyschromias, which are some of like the brown spots and irregularities, it's not going to look as good. So what I did was I told my patients a long time ago, I said, listen, if we're going to do your face, since I see the skin from the inside out, a lot of it is dehydration. Besides sun damage, some people smoke. And the dehydration will really get you. I can see the difference, or I should say my scissors can feel the difference, and I can feel it through the scissors. When your skin's dehydrated, it doesn't flow. So at that point, years ago, I started saying, okay, I got to get into skincare at the same point rather than, and yes, I used to use a lot of, products first that you could actually, there's all kinds of labs. And they, where the white label, shall we say, where you put your name on, hey, I need a retin A, I need a vitamin C. And they have on the back of the shelves like 20. And I did that in the beginning temporarily until I said, you know what? I got to be able to do something that is going to actually take a wonderful chemist and be able to work not just with one vitamin C, but to see what can we do to get a symbiotic and a synergistic relationship together between 3 or 4 or 5 products together in one. And so I started making my liquid gold and the detox pads many years ago, my Hydra screen. Mm-hmm. And I started giving my patients that. And then a buddy of mine once said, hey, why don't you try getting this over to Home Shopping Network and try to sell it? I go, really? So he knew the president at the time, Mindy, and I met with her and she loved the product. She goes, why don't you try it? And that's how it started 7-8 years ago. And now we have, God, I don't know, maybe 25 to 30 SKUs already. So that's how I started. And that's why we're on TV shopping. We're on DTC, direct to consumer, just like you do. We're on, different websites, different distributors across the world for, different med spas. Some of the stuff in Costco, in Mexico too, besides the United States, Amazon, of course. And we're constantly adding on as we keep going. So I probably answered a few questions, probably, hopefully.
You did. No, you did. But you actually pointed out something that, I mean, is very relevant, because I've always had, my skincare regimen, but I was not good about SPF until I was with you.
Oh, yeah.
Because I thought, okay, Dr. Nassif and Laura did this amazing work.
Yeah.
Why am I going to screw this up now from the outside by not using SPF? So I've become religious about SPF. I mean, I don't care if I look like a ghost some days. It's just SPF, especially living here in Las Vegas. It's all about the SPF. So I would like to know, what are some of your star products? That's in your opinion. What are some of your star products, and what are they used for?
Sure. There's so many good products, but one of the things I'm just going to pick out a few that are kind of fun to talk about. My micro spa, especially during COVID, what was happening is a lot of patients during COVID, they couldn't go to their spa and get our spa and get like their medical grade facial. So I took one of our cool different facials here, and we made it into a 2-step process called our micro spa, our radiance resurfacing, and it's vitamin C crystals that are actually also soaked with ethyl absorbic acid, or BVOSC it's called, plus vitamin E and some peptides. And that's the first step. And you just sit there and you exfoliate with it and take them, that's the physical and some chemical exfoliation. And then you take some alpha beta hydroxy acid, which is like a lactic acid, or salicylic acid, and you put that on step 2 on top of the vitamin C. And it activates it, and it feels a little warm, and it suds up. And that's the chemical exfoliating. It's a beautiful procedure. It's almost like using the detox pads, which is my number 1 bestseller, the ultimate multitasker. That's like brushing your teeth daily.
Yeah.
This is like going to the dentist and getting a deep clean using a multi-spa, but you can use this once, even twice a week. And, one of the other things too, besides my HydroScreen, which is the other one, that's my hyaluronic acid micro. It's almost like little nanoparticles that are dehydrated spheres of hyaluronic acid that is a water-loving substance. As soon as it touches your skin, it kind of goes, it pulls all the alkaline water into the space where it's at, and it becomes like little balloons to give you more hydration. And then there's that's underneath the skin. Then on the top of the skin, there's moisturization, which is usually with fatty acids, and we have sphingolipids and glycoceramides in this product, which locks in the hydration. That's why when you put on the moisturizer, it feels good because it sits on top of your skin. And there's retinol. Mm-hmm. And one of them, I'll just give you one more. We have so many. I can go through all of these, but we have a great crepe inhibitor. So if you have that crepey skin for your body, this will knock your socks off. So we have, a body butter, 3 main key action ingredients, key ingredients. And it's one of the things that would look at befores and afters. That's some of my best before and afters, and especially with our neck and décolleté product. Incredible before and after photos of the neck, the whole area. And the body, of course, for the crepey skin.
Wow. I got to look that one up.
Yeah, crepey skin, very dehydrated skin.
Yeah, when it's dehydration, you're right. This might be a hard question, because it's like trying to pick your favorite child, I feel, at least with Westmore Beauty. What is your favorite product?
Well,
if you had to pick one.
Yeah, if I had to pick one, for me, it's going to be the detox pads.
Really?
Yeah, because I use them twice a day.
Over HydroScreen?
Well, because the reason why, sometimes I'm in a hurry and I don't really have time to wash my face. We really have to with this, remember.
That's true.
It cleans under 80% better than soap and water. So since I use it so much, and I bring it with me all the time when I feel like I have a little sweat going on and I just need to get a treatment, I use it so much, so frequently, I have to say that's kind of in the running but a little bit higher than the Hydra Screen.
I was going to say, it's got to be
The
there.
Hydra Screen is number 2.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, 1.5. We'll give it 1.5. So what would you say are some great tips for people using your line? I mean, even me personally, I'm curious. Do you believe in the cleanse, toner? Do you believe in the whole like 10-step, or do you believe in more minimalist? Like what are some great tips that you can give
one
people?
thing that we like to do is I do like to stack and do multiple treatments. First of all, you have your first step, which is your cleanser, whether it's an exfoliator or a cleanser. Like say, for example, you get out of the shower and use our cleanser. And then you're going to do your first step in the anti-aging process is going to be your detox pad. And so this is my protocol. That's why I like to layer it, because they're all different key ingredients and they all work well together. And then we have, for example, an incredible day serum, which is an antioxidant. It's a very lightweight serum. And then we have our Dermaflex Smart Cream. So I put on 5-6 layers. I'm going to go detox pad, my under eye, or shall we say almost the 360 brand new eye product that we use. And then I'm going to go to the neck and décolleté product. Then I'll put on the Dermaflex, which also that has UVC in it. UVCE, which is a smart vector, which basically when you have UV rays hit you, the microcapsules of vitamin C and E, which are, again, they're scavengers of these free radicals that's in the antioxidant, they're released and they go out and fight that. So it's a protection phase. Followed by the Hydra Screen, of course. So all that takes me to do that, I don't know, less than a minute.
I was going to ask you, actually, I mean, it's not on my list of questions, but do you believe in waiting a couple minutes in between each step, or do you just go and slap it all on?
Well, if you have the time, I like the idea of having it absorbed in your skin a little bit. So smart question.
About that.
Great question.
Well, thank you. That was not even on the list.
That was a good one.
Well, because I always wondered, because I there are nights where I'm in a rush and I slap it on and I'm like, God, am I wasting my product? Because I do like to actually, to be honest with you, Laura taught me to wait a couple of minutes in between certain steps. And so I started to implement that. And you do see a difference when you really do let it soak in. But it's tough. There are nights when, all right, you detox pad and your Hydra Screen, and that's it. Go to bed.
Yeah, go to bed. Exactly.
So what has been your favorite part about starting a brand? I mean, you're a full brand now. What has been your favorite part about all that?
I think growing it. I think that's what's exciting when you see year to year, anyone out there who wants to start a brand. I mean, watching your business grow, no matter how you do it, social media, websites, and you watch your distribution channels growing, you watch your sales grow. My wife, for example, she just started on her own with no help. I mean, she got some advice from Alice and a few other people, but she started a little, business where she makes these gorgeous wreaths and sells products on her. It's called Oneira. I think Oneira. You got to take a look at, her Instagram. And also holiday decorating, Christmas trees. And so she's, doing all that. That's her goal, is to elevate her brand. Now, obviously, if I'm in a photo with something, that helps a little bit because my brand's bigger than hers. But the point is to build a great brand, which is fun, as you know. You got to have the social following, and you got to have,
a story.
You get them a story. And plus, remember, your celebrity can always sell a product the first time. But if the quality of the product isn't good or great, they're not going to buy it again.
Exactly. You want repeat customers. So quality over anything else. I agree with you on that. And I do hope that maybe we see a home good of on HSN. Could that be maybe in the future?
Oh, God.
Of Mrs. Nassif.
That'd be fun for her to do that. Who knows?
I bet she'd love that.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool. That'd be so cool to see both of you on there. So we already talked about your favorite product. What would you say is the target age demographic, and why do you think that is?
Well, I would like to change that, because a lot of the women that are using the product are in their 40s and 50s. But a lot of these products, we want actually, the teenagers to start using it.
Yeah.
You want to start getting good skincare early on. And I think that's
Yep.
really important. Whether it's the detox pad, something simple, but getting them on a skincare product when you're younger, before all the damage occurs, and the
Right.
protection and making sure they're wearing sunscreen, that to me is going to be one of the best ways to really, if I had to look at a target audience, I would like to grow the younger audience more.
Mm-hmm.
Let them
Now,
be prevented.
I completely agree, because I think we've all been there where we just think we're Superman and Wonder Woman and we don't need any skin help, but then we get past 40 and we're like, oh crap, yes we do. But what would be something? I'm curious. Do you have something in your line that is good for teenagers with acne?
Oh yeah, I mean that's why I love the detox pads.
I was gonna say, I bet the detox
and we
pads.
are working on some more acne products. But remember the what's great about the detox pad, they have alpha-beta hydroxy acid, salicylic acid, lactic acid. And we are basically working on every fruit acid that can synergistically work together. And that's why these are so popular. And it cleans out the pores. Once you clean out those pores, that bacteria, it's not really easy for them just to settle in.
Right.
So, remember, it's the bacteria that settles in those pores, and they cause that darn inflammation.
Right.
It keeps on going.
Now, would you say for teenagers, or even 20-year-olds that are suffering with acne, especially teenagers, as you know, it can be hard to get them to really do anything. But if they want to try and clean their skin out and they want it fast and quick, would you say the detox pads would be the best way to go about it?
The detox pads.
Interesting.
What I'm trying to do is work on something to, one, inhibit those pores that were the acne from, reacting. I'm trying to get them to slow down. And we don't have an answer yet of how we can get acne to slow down besides taking, again, they can take Accutane. The sebaceous gland units are decreased, which again is pretty harsh on your body. And there are risks, or there's some great cleansers and there's some other great, products out there, I assume, that are fantastic at this. But the goal is, if I have to say, you start with detox pads. But I'm working on one more product that could be a hand-in-hand 1-2 punch.
Wow.
Working on it. Stay tuned.
All right. Well, for now, I'm going to pass some of my detox pads over to Maddox.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
So what are some of your favorite success stories that you've heard from people who are using your line?
I've had a lot of patients, even in Australia, because I'm on TBS in their TV shopping.
Wow.
Tell patients, I've heard stories where they didn't really want to go out in public, certain folks, especially even in Australia, because their skin was so bad. And they felt the wrinkles and everything else just made them they made them really insecure. And one of the great success stories is like after 4 months, I got this, which is not that long, skincare. But I got this lovely, lady just sent me this incredible, you helped change my life. Now I'm confident again. I can go on a date. I can feel good about myself because her skin looked better. Something that simple. And was it a small change, big change? I think it was a moderate change, but it made her more confident and feel better.
And that's key.
And some of the other, when we think about different ways to, in regards to success with my patients or the people that buy the skincare product, because again, people that use my line can either be existing patients or a new one. And we also have a friend of mine who is it's such a great thing. Her sister has really bad problems with her skin. And she even saw a dermatologist who can usually take care of that beautifully. But for some reason, because her skin was so dry and flaky all the time, and red, he kept sending me photos. So I sent him a, great workout of, I said, I need you to get your skin a lot better. And what happened was we actually took this patient's skin that was actually destroyed. It was almost like, that crepey skin? Yeah, really crepey, almost looks like a leather. Or, it's about, not alligator skin. It looks like it's going to crack. And we hydrated the skin so much that it made the patient look about 10 years old.
Wow.
So you have to be, so when it comes to dehydration, you have to be really clear on that and really make sure you're getting someone hydrated. But you take someone who looks almost like, who, I'm trying to use the right words, who horribly needs it, and then give them the right products, and you see such a transformation, they're grateful. It's like me doing a nose, or doing a facelift, usually. God willing, they're grateful.
Hello.
And they're happy. So that's enough of me.
Yeah.
Did we get me completely?
We got everything, but if there's anything else you want to add in, please be my guest.
So having a skincare line, yes. One more thing. A lot of patients will, think, and again, I want to clarify that we're using white label. We're not. We are formulating our own products. And two, they think, well, you just do this, you don't really enjoy skincare. But I got to tell you, I'm passionate about skincare and I like it. Yes, as a surgeon, I like you taking care of your skin. So that's true. I really do.
Of course. I remember before we worked together, that was a big thing from you, and not for any other reason, but because it was just your honest advice was before you were going to operate on me was to use the Hydro Screen. So, and I do remember when I came in to see you months later, you were actually surprised at how much bouncier my skin was, how it did kind of, it reacted very well, as everybody does, to Hydro Screen, that there just was, you didn't have to do as much work, I remember.
Funny.
Still was a lot, but not as much.
No, your skin was not that bad at all. But again, when you get, you need a little bit more elasticity boost.
Yeah.
So that's all you do.
It worked.
All right. Carol, your turn. You ready? How'd you start Westmore Beauty?
So Westmore Beauty, it's kind of funny. I mean, people may or may not know that my family's been in makeup for over 100 years. They invented the Hollywood makeup artist. That's why we have a star on the Walk of Fame. This goes all the way back to even late 1800s. My great-grandfather was the wig maker to the royal court, Winston Churchill's barber, came over at that turn of the century, and they were the first makeup artists in silent films. And I always admired that history. I always thought that history was amazing. The fact that my grandfather did Gone with the Wind, and, as a family, they did 10 Commandments.
Wow.
Creature from the Black Lagoon. Breakfast at Tiffany's, that's another one. Talking about beauty makeup.
So wait a minute, hold on.
It just is such cool
You said
history.
Creature of the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
So for everyone listening out there that you're probably too young or don't know what that is, it's a classic black and white, correct?
Yep, correct.
And that is a classic horror film.
Total classic.
And then you're talking about Breakfast at Tiffany's?
Yeah. I mean, to do such polar opposites. And then you have my dad, who was Elizabeth Taylor's personal makeup artist for 10 years, but then he went on to make every alien on Star Trek for 18 years.
Oh my God, that's the funniest thing.
That's artistry. So I makeup was something that crossed my mind, but how it originally started, it didn't originally start. When I was a teenager, LA Times called my dad the last of the living dinosaurs, the last to do it all in makeup. And that broke my heart. As a daddy's girl, that totally broke my heart. So I started to take makeup classes. I started to learn tricks of the trade. But at the end of the day, I went to my dad and I said, makeup is not exactly my passion, no pun intended. I want to do I want to do acting, and went in to do
Passions.
the soap operas.
Called Passions.
called Passions.
Yeah.
That was my passion at the moment. When that show ended, we were told that it was going to go on for 50 years. And then I was only a month or two later, it was canceled. And that was terrifying to me. And I thought, I have no backup plan.
When you
I don't know what to do.
it only lasted 2 months when you started the show?
Oh, no. It was on for 9 years. But when that 9 years was up and we moved to DirecTV, we were told that we were going to have 50 more years.
Oh.
And that ended up being a month or two.
Wow.
So that was a shock. I thought I was going to be in a walker on that show. And when I did not have a backup plan, that was terrifying. And there was a dry spell for me. And then I ended up getting the show Face Off on Sci-Fi. And it was during that show that I thought, okay, I'm on a makeup show with a makeup father, a makeup history. I'd be really stupid right now to not take this history and start a makeup line, because my family did have a makeup line in the 50s called the House of Westmore.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I've always had passion for my family's history and for my dad and what he does. And so that's where Westmore Beauty came about. Met my partner, Doug Cooper, who, like you said, we don't white label. Everything is formulated by us. And he took me over to QVC, met everybody there, who was absolutely lovely. And they loved the history. They loved the products we were bringing. And the rest is history. It's been 8 or 9 years now on QVC.
8 or 9 years. So just a couple of years, you got started before me. All right. And so now I got to ask you the same thing. What are some of your favorite products? And are there any products that are specifically for men?
Absolutely. So personally, I mean, it is hard to pick a product. I would have to say my favorite, though, it's because it's what launched us, is the Body Coverage Perfector. That is that was really born out of my days on the soaps, because when you're in a soap opera, you're not wearing a lot of clothing a lot of times. So you're in a lot of body makeup or self-tanner. Body makeup gets everywhere. Self-tanner doesn't cover up birthmarks or freckling. It makes it worse. And so I thought there's got to be a better way than this. And that was Body Coverage Perfector. So Body Coverage Perfector, it gives coverage, but is also a self-tanner and lasts 4 to 5 days. It's waterproof, sweatproof. When it comes to men, I do know men, they do like to use this. But I would say the 60-second eye effects is the one that men they're becoming a little more vocal. They've been very silent for a while, but it wasn't until, God bless my husband, did a video, unbeknownst to him, went viral. And that video is what has made men realize that they can use a product and it doesn't look or feel like makeup, but will solve their under eye puffiness, crow's feet. It's temporary. It's 24 hours.
Yeah. So I have a product like that too, but it shrinks and does all that, helps push back the fat and the wrinkles and silicons to that. But is that more like under the primer or toner?
Correct. It goes underneath and it has color correctors in it. So it does help with dark circles. Instead of being clear, we did go with a shade that is universal. And so it does correct dark circles as well as the bags, the wrinkles. Yes. And like I said, that video of my husband, God, I still feel bad to this day.
So you did that on his eyes?
I did. Well, what happened was QVC needed a video. This was last November, and at the time, my son had RSV, and I didn't feel comfortable going to my mom's house, my mom and dad, to do it on my mom. My mom was supposed to be my model. I didn't want to take a chance if I had it and get them sick. So my husband, that morning, he woke up, and I saw that he had some puffiness under his eyes, and I said, hey, sit down. Can we do this video? So it took a lot of begging, and I said, it's only going to be on QVC. He said, whatever you do, just don't put it on your Instagram. And I said, okay. So I put it on my TikTok. It is now up to about 7 million views.
No way.
And I didn't expect that. And I still had not told him. And he started to get phone calls from friends saying, have you left Hollywood? Have you left? And you're now a makeup model? Like, what's going on? And finally I had to fess up to him and say, I'm so sorry. I did not expect this to go viral.
I get to you something. That's cool.
In the end, it's cool. And now he's okay with it.
All right. And is that your favorite product you think you sell?
For me personally, the Body Coverage Perfector. That's one that I use constantly. And we just launched a new one called Supreme Cream, which is actually for the face all the way down to the toes. And that gives coverage, it gives concealing. But I would say the Body Coverage Perfector is that's my baby, because that's what kicked us off. That's what put us on the map. That's what became the top seller on Amazon.
Love to hear. That's such a great story. All right, now about makeup. If you wanted, a misconception, something that a lot of people do, thinking that whatever they're going to do for makeup does this, but in actuality, it does the polar opposite.
The biggest misconception, and it drives me nuts, is that I think too many women think they need to pile it on. They think that more is less, and it's not. More is more, and it looks like more. And that's a big thing for me with Westmore Beauty, is to try and educate women that they don't need to use that much makeup. And really, it goes back to even skin. The less makeup you put on your skin, the better your skin is going to be. I'm sure you've seen that.
Yeah, your pores are not clogged.
Your pores are not clogged. So that's a big thing for me. And we do infuse all of our products with skin-loving ingredients, like jojoba oil and chamomile extract and retinol, vitamin E. Yeah, the good stuff. So I try to keep everything with skin-loving ingredients.
I love that. All right. Now, are there any special tips for people that are using Westmore Beauty, that are using it routinely? Is there one little tip or hint or something you want to tell all those folks that are be watching this?
Absolutely. The biggest thing I cannot stress enough is education. The thing about Westmore Beauty, it's not your average makeup line. This is more special effects, instant results that will last all day. So it's not just a foundation you're going to slap on. It's not just an eye cream. These are products that they need to be. They're videos that I wish more customers would watch and educate, because there's a learning curve, especially the eye effects. When people try eye effects and if it doesn't work, they just give up. But when people figure it out, the letters that I get it's like, oh my God, this stuff is magic. Like, it really is. I call it the fairy godmother in a tube.
I'll tell you one thing, so do you like your clientele watching beauty makeup tutorials?
I think it's important. I mean, with stuff like this, now, depending on what somebody's wanting to accomplish, when it comes to contouring and highlighting and things like that, there are videos for that, obviously. But when it comes to Westmore Beauty, even like with the Body Coverage Perfector, it has to be clean, dry, oil-free skin. You've got to, when it comes to covering a tattoo, there's a layering technique where you've got to layer it, and you've got to, I say, take a cool hair dryer and put it on cool and dry it down, layer it again. So there's definite learning curves. Yeah, same thing with the eye effects. You have to play around. Some people need, when I did the video with my husband, I remember he asked me, I said, use a pea size amount. And he's like, well, what kind of pea? A big pea, a little pea? What kind of pea are we talking? I said, I don't know, just pick a pea and just do it. So you got to play around and figure out what works for each individual person.
And how you asked me about the favorite part of starting a brand? Mm-hmm. What about you?
Oh, for me, it's the success stories that I hear from others. My favorite part is carrying on the family name. I always relate it to the movie Coco. Did you ever see Coco?
Wait a minute now.
The Disney film?
Which one's that now? Coco, what's the premise?
It's the one, Coco, it's Mama Coco, and it's Day of the Dead.
Oh, yeah. I just was funny you were saying that, because as I'm driving Disney the last few days, I'm using Brittany's Spotify account, and she's got the Disney songs, and the little boy, right? It's a little boy, is singing that song, about that. So yeah, oh my God. So I heard all those songs. It was so cute, and I watched that soundtrack. I watched that movie a long time ago.
I think I've seen it probably 20 times now.
Yeah.
Yes. So the way that I always refer to what I'm doing with Westmore Beauty is it freaked me out a little bit when I saw Coco and they're on the other side and there's the one skeleton that has been forgotten because nobody is putting his photo on the ofrenda. And so that's how that freaked me out because I thought I don't want to let this legacy be forgotten.
Yes.
I don't want people to forget who my family is and what they've done and what they've accomplished. I mean, they invented individual false eyelashes. They invented the airbrush compressor. They invented how we are to shape our eyebrows, things that people don't know.
Wait a minute, invisible
And so
what?
they invented first my great uncle invented the shape face, the heart shape, the
Really?
diamond shape, triangle.
Yeah,
Yes, they invented
really?
that.
All these
chart.
things. We use that in plastic surgery.
Yes, you do. Exactly. That's why you and I really go hand in hand with what we do. They even invented how we are to shape our eyebrow, that 3-point technique.
Yes.
They invented that long ago.
I got to tell you something. With today's, so people can find us, we're going to have to tag in the beginning of this thing, have this say what you didn't know about all this makeup and skincare. This is cool. And this is what's nice about this.
Yeah.
I'm getting more of a history about you and your family. It's really nice. And
Yeah.
I mean, your favorite product is probably the body perfecting
The body coverage. Yeah.
coverage.
Mm-hmm.
Is that probably out of all of them? Is that it? Yeah, I thought so.
I would have to say something. Again, it's hard to pick one because, like I say, it's like trying to pick your favorite kid. But
Oh my God.
if I had to, yeah, that's like I said, that's the one that put us on the map. Nobody really knew what Westmore Beauty was until that one came out, and it created a whole new category. That category didn't exist until the body coverage perfector. So it's fun creating new categories.
Very cool. Now, what is your target age demo?
I'm just like you, actually, where it is probably 45 and up,
Yeah.
maybe even a little more. And I would love to skew younger.
Sure, younger.
Yeah. I want to get across the board. Again, the biggest mission for me is to educate, to teach that, you don't need to pile on the makeup. And also, multitasking products. Less is definitely more, and it's more youthful looking. And that's what I think a lot of 20-year-olds actually make the mistake of, is they really put on a lot of makeup and it ages them.
Oh my God.
And it clogs the pores, as you know. Yeah. So that's why I love to create products that are multitaskers, like the Supreme Cream, the one we just launched like a week ago, I think it was. It's foundation. It's actually a primer, a foundation, a concealer, a setting powder, and a self-tanner in one.
All that one. Yeah. Like you said, it's all those different key ingredients that, give you all those extra benefits that you're talking about. Same way. You and I are aligned perfectly. Now, some of your
less is more.
favorite success stories that you hear from people who are, using your line.
Well, I do. I've got a couple. One of the first ones that ever happened was somebody wrote me an email and said buying your product was like they knew House of Westmore. They had bought House of Westmore back in the day. And they said when they bought my product, it was like saying hello to an old friend. And that was like, oh, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. That's a great one.
When I see the confidence, like you said, confidence is another one. I remember this beautiful young lady came to, I had a booth at one of the QVC events, and she came up to me crying because she'd used the body coverage perfector at her wedding, and she had birthmarks that she didn't want to show off at her wedding, and white dress, you got to be careful, you don't want to wear body makeup. And she used the body coverage perfector, and it gave her perfect, flawless skin, and she was in tears thanking me because it made her special day even more special for her because she was so confident.
That's like a perfect reason to really get this. Wonderful.
Yeah.
I get to, this was fun.
Like you, it's confidence. Yeah. We want to change lives.
Yeah. I mean, I could tell you, this was fun because one, you heard a little bit about me and skincare, and you, since you've been doing this and you're wonderful
Yeah.
when you're on QVC. I mean, this is great to learn a little bit more about,
Thank you.
our different lines. And since, you're
Yeah.
on QVC all the time, you need to really, keep it up and rock and rolling, which I think you're doing a beautiful job. And you
Thank
can, what's
you.
good about it, from where you are, you can actually zoom over pretty easily as Zoom and do your TV shows.
Yeah. I mean,
For your
I'm going back in
QVC.
studio. I was just there a week ago.
Oh, you are going back.
Yeah, I'm going back in August. I'm going back in 2 weeks. Yep. But it's there's sometimes we Zoom. We still, I mean, I know you probably do too. We still have that thank God we figured out that capability. But no, we are back in studio, and I'm so excited because Westmore Beauty is
that's a positive thing that COVID did for us.
for us. Yes, that was the blessing for us that came of it.
Yeah, Westmore Beauty. You said, "Thank God," but Westmore Beauty is what I interrupted you.
Oh, we're nominated actually for 3 awards. So for anybody listening or watching, they can always find the link on my Instagram, or I always put it in my stories every day. Vote for Best Body Coverage, Best Instant Fix, the 60-second eye effects, and Best Lip Gloss, our 60-second lip effects.
Ooh. As a matter of fact,
I hope
I
everybody votes.
love hearing that. As a matter of fact, too, we were talking about, for me. Remember, I have my Dr. Paul Nassif. Thank you, young lady. Got some coffee delivered me. My Dr. Paul Nassif, .com, but at Skincare by Dr. Nassif, Dr. Nassif, and that's the best way to look at all my skincare. Or that's on the Instagram and stuff like that. But NassifMD Skincare, the website. But what about you to go? I know you have your personal one. McKenzie. I mean,
yes.
But what is the one if they want to go get is it Westmore Beauty?
Yeah, so we have our westmorebeauty.com, the main page to go on and check everything out. There is a page on Amazon devoted just to Westmore Beauty, and then obviously on QVC.
Yeah.
And I would gather that it pops up on a lot of people's Facebooks.
Yep, same thing, it populates. Yeah, that's right. So I'm on HSN, Nassif MD Skincare for the website, Amazon too, and the same thing. But yeah, I mean, it's great. So this was fun talking about our skincare.
This is fun.
I mean, this was fun.
I know,
It's a little bit
I
different.
love it.
But hopefully while listening, they learned a few little things about products and why we did it and what we love and some success stories. And yeah. Well, everyone.
I mean, you and I both. We're both about educating and confidence.
Yeah. I love hearing that. And, it's great that you and I are doing this because, it's nice when I was listening to, because in the morning when I'm working out, my trainer comes over and he puts on YouTube. He has all these different podcasts, And so he didn't know I had a podcast. So I pulled up ours and I put one on, and it was about anti-aging. As I'm sitting there working out, listening to it. And it's interesting how, again, even I heard it, but it's nice to hear it, to teach it again, to educate. And, we hear about anti-aging from, Evolve and things like that, or some of the doctors that we've had on, or, the Ozempic craze and all these type of things. It's great to really talk about these things and these topics, even though it says Demystify Beauty, but, beauty is inside and out. It's everything, and all different types of topics,
Yeah.
And so it's just nice. It's fun that you and I were able to just chat, for about 45 minutes, which I think our time is up, about these things. I look forward to doing this a lot longer with you.
Yes, I can't wait to do more. And I hope everybody just checks out both lines and enjoys.
Well, everyone, we'll see you next week. Have a great week.
See you, Betty. Bye. Thank you for listening to Demystify Beauty, produced by Gotham Production Studios. If you have any questions for future episodes, please don't hesitate to reach out to us on Instagram at Demystify Beauty or email us at demystifybeauty@gmail.com. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the show. See you next time.